A mother of two was horrified to find a live rat trapped inside a sealed packet of Aldi plums. Salma Reyes, 32, and her husband, Cameron, bought the punnet of fruit but failed to spot the rodent curled up in the plastic container covered with netting. But 7 hours later they heard scratching and rustling coming from their fruit and veg stand and discovered the pest. Mrs. Reyes said she was left baffled and shocked, and a video shows the tiny frightened animal blinking from inside the sealed package. In emails to Mrs. Reyes, Aldi's serious complaints team said that punnets are all hand-picked in Italy. Before being placed into the netting machine, after the punnets have been wrapped, they are all individually weighed before being boxed by hand ahead of the 3-day transit. Rochdale Council's investigation is still ongoing, but they disclosed that pest control visited the store and found no issues with the store, as well as the store not receiving any other complaints of a similar nature. Mrs. Reyes, from Rochdale, said, "I went into the kitchen in the middle of the night and I could hear a rummaging noise. I couldn't see anything, but I knew it was coming from the area where the fruit bowl is, so I shouted my husband. He came down and couldn't see anything either, and it was only when he was stood looking in the direction of the fruit bowl that he saw the rat's eyes. As soon as we discovered it, I said, 'Did the bag not seem heavier, or was it not moving inside?' He said it must have been wedged in so tight it could not move. The fact it was still alive is very worrying to me and confusing. I just couldn't understand how it could still be alive, trapped how it was. I was shaken up. All sorts of things were going through my mind at the time, like what would have happened if my daughter had gone for fruit in the morning and found it. She would have been petrified." Mrs. Reyes and her husband bought the 75p fruit at Aldi in Rochdale, Greater Manchester on December 13th. Mr. Reyes grabbed the punnet of plums from the back of the shelf because he believed they would be the freshest. The couple took the fruit and the live rat back to the store the next day. Mrs. Reyes said she left the rat with the manager at the Aldi store, who seemed shocked, and left the rat at the store's warehouse, unimpressed by the store's response. Mrs. Reyes contacted Rochdale Council, desperate for answers on how the rat had ended up concealed inside the packaging. Mrs. Reyes, who prides herself on her immaculate flat, was left so shaken by the discovery she refused to go into the kitchen for 3 days. She said, "Even though I knew the rat had been removed, psychologically it made me uneasy. I felt itchy and was shook." After receiving the reports from both Aldi and the council, Salma believes the rat had frozen during transportation. As Aldi's email stated, the plums had been stored at minus temperatures during a 3-day transit from Italy to the UK and thawed inside the house. Mrs. Rye decided to speak about her experience after reading about a customer discovering half a rat inside a bag of frozen vegetables at the start of February from a Cornwall Aldi branch. She said, "When I read what had happened, I realized this is obviously not a one-off situation like I was led to believe. There is a rodent problem somewhere in the system, despite pest control not finding anything." Aldi has been contacted for comment.
Where the freaks at?